Hi, this is Ronnie Crew again. I am going to be guiding you through lab number 9, Firewall Configuration Analysis using pfSense Firewall. We're going to be able to go through how to block traffic coming into the wide area network interface from the internet, block traffic from the DMZ, and block traffic from the local area network. I'm going to take you through the scenario here. In this lab, it will be your responsibility as a network administrator to learn how to navigate a firewall interface in order to establish appropriate protection mechanisms for organizational users. If you haven't gone through this lab yet, please, I advise you to watch the video. Follow along with me. Okay, so on the very first move is we're going to log into a Kali Linux machine. Kali. Password stays the same throughout this course. Kali machine loads. We're going to click on a Kali icon. I'm going to type Firefox to launch Firefox and access the pfSense web interface. Okay, on Firefox, we're going to go ahead and type the IP address for that interface. 192.168.1.1. Go ahead and press enter. We're going to click on advanced, scroll down and accept the risk and continue. We're going to go ahead and type admin as a username for the pfSense. Then we're going to enter the password for my router. I usually don't save, so sometimes it takes a while for the pfSense to load, so just so you know, you gotta be patient and keep resubmitting this request and just trying. So sometimes it is a pain. Just be patient, folks. I'm going to pause the video and see if I can resubmit this request as often as I can to get access into the pfSense. Okay, I finally got in. Okay, we're going to start with, I'm going to check that off, complete that process. So we're going to just step into firewall rules, because our interest is to set 3 firewall rules. So we're going to start with the very first one, which is the wide area network. So we're going to be blocking all wide area network traffic from the internet. So we're going to go ahead and click on add. Add a new rule. There we go. A new rule that's going to be at the top of the list. So that's why we use this add. A new rule that's going to be at the top of the list. That's why we use the other add button rather than the other one. We're going to go ahead and change the action from pass to block. Okay, so here it's going to prevent the generation of response TCP packets and or ICMP packets from the firewall when the rule is met. Okay, that's it. You can see the details. Okay, step number 8. We're not going to check disable this rule because we want that rule to be applicable right away upon implementation. Upon saving it and applying it, we want it to be applicable right away. Step 9, 10, and 11 talks about maintaining the interface to be a wide area network interface. We have 2 other interfaces, but our focus is blocking from the wide area network. The address family in question here that we want is the IPv4, but we also have options that you can do too, both IPv4 and 606 either. So go ahead and just select the IPv4. Our protocol of interest is the TCP. So okay, we're good on that. Step 12 says for the source, we're going to leave it at any. This means that the source address may be any host on the internet. So it doesn't really matter. It just has to be any host on the internet. We want to block everything. Okay. We're going to move forward with step 13, which says our destination field. Let's select one address, wide area network address. This selection indicates the IP address of the wide area network in interface, so the external side. So remember, we're blocking against any traffic coming from the internet. Step 14 says for the destination port range, we are going to select any. And it also applies, it auto populates the two, so just so you know. So whatever you picked on here, right, will auto populate on the other side. And step 15 requires that we check the lock packets that are handled by this rule. So every blockage will be locked. For description, we are required to enter the description of what the rule is. In this case, reject all to firewall wide area network. You can decide to enter whatever description that makes you understand this better, but for purposes of this lab, we're going to go with this. And the last step is, once we check that, we're going to go ahead and save. We're going to go ahead and save the rule and apply the changes. So this is the rule we just created. So we have that rule applied already. So our next task is to block traffic in the local area network. The very first step is we're going to just switch from the wide area network to the LAN. Once you see the red underlined, then that's where we are. Our first task is, hey, let's add a rule. Let's go ahead and change the pass to reject. Remember, in the wide area network, we changed to block, but here we're doing reject. So in this case, it will allow the generation of TCP packets and ICMP packets from the firewall. This is okay as it is our internal network and can help with network troubleshooting. So the difference between the local area network firewall rules and that of the one is more exposed out there to the entire wall, so you want to be very cautious. Local area network is just within, so we had some leverage. Okay, step 4 says, hey, do not check disable rule because we want this to apply right away. Step 5, 6, and 7 says set the interface to the local area network interface. We're going to keep it that way because that's what we're looking at. Our target address family is the IPv4 protocol, the TCP protocol. Okay, that's it. Okay, step 8 says in the destination field, in the source field, not the destination, the source field, we're going to select local area network net. designating the entire local area network IP range as potential sources addresses. Okay, so that's our target. In the destination section, we're going to select any. It's already selected by default. This indicates the traffic should be blocked to any destination address. It's going to be blocking traffic to any destination address. So pretty much, hey, do not want anything to go out. Just have it stays local. Sometimes that could be a move for data loss prevention. Okay, so in step 10, we are required to select our destination port range to be NetBIOS SSN 139. Once you select that, it auto-populates the 2. So whatever applies to the from auto-populates to the 2 field. And the last, we're going to have to check here that we need to lock everything. And we have to enter the description. Reject all net BIOS from local area network. So preventing stuff from leaving. So, and then we're going to save. We're going to apply the changes. So you see it goes right up to the top. Right up to the top. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and check this for purposes of this lab. Completed that process. So our last task is to limit that of the DMZ connectivity. On the pfSense, it is the option 1, OPT1. We're going to go ahead and click on that. As we've done with the other ones, right, we're going to go ahead and add a rule. We're going to go ahead and change the action from pass to reject. We're going to go ahead and avoid to disable this rule, so we're not going to check on this, because if we do, then this rule will not apply. Step 5, 6, and 7, we're going to ensure that our interface is the option 1, OPT1, address family it should be IPv4, and our protocol is the TCP protocol. You can see that. Step number 8, we're going to change the source to option 1 net. So remember, when we're dealing with local area network, we're going to change that to the LAN net. With the option 1, we're going to do option 1 net. Let's scroll down. The destination remains the same, any. What changes here is the destination port. It's going to be any in this case. Reason being that this will automatically, reason being that traffic should be blocked to any destination address. Gonna go ahead and check that out. Check. And we're also going to go ahead and check the lockbox, ensuring that everything gets locked. And we're going to go ahead and describe whatever firewall rule we have put in place. reject all traffic from DMZ. Check that out. Save and apply changes. The last thing we're required to do is to do a backup of this firewall rule we just set, the configuration file. Usually it's very important from a quick deployment. You don't want to come back and start going through this manual process. It's just good to save a copy of that file for backup. So we're going to go ahead and click Diagnostics. We come to Backup and Restore. We click on there. We click Download. And we click Save. So every time you download a file, it automatically goes into the download folder or the download directory. It's defaulted to the download directory. Okay, we completed that step 16. So our step 17, right, we're going to go ahead and close Firewall. So what I want to do here is we want to be able to access that download file and rename it to backup.xml. So we're going to launch a command line interface, and we're going to do apply the change command cd desktop download. Sorry, we want to navigate ourselves to the download, be able to retrieve that file. So cd download, we press enter. Oh. Cd downloads. I omitted an S. Downloads. There you go. So you can do the ls command just to list what is in there, though it's not included in this lab, but I always like to see what's in there before I make moves. So okay, there's only one file in the download directory. So what we're going to do here is we want to rename that to backup.xml. So we're going to go ahead and do the move command, move, and then we're going to start by typing the first word or the first key characters of that file, which if there were multiple files in the download, it would still be able to make it unique. So we're going to go ahead in this case and type config, and because we don't want to spend this time on typing all those characters for the file, we'll just go ahead and press the tab button to auto-populate the rest of the characters. There you go. Space, and then we type whatever name we want to rename it. So it's backup.xml. Go ahead and press enter. So we want to double check and ensure that it's renamed properly. So we're just going to go ahead and run the ls command again and press enter. We have definitely come to the end of this lab, and I believe that this has helped. Please be reminded that this is very, very important for your exams. You need to know how to set firewall rules and be able to download and back up firewall configurations, and possibly to access it into the download directory and rename it to backup.xml. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and submit it for grading for purposes of this lab.